Coming up on Cooking Crave, we have a recipe that your family is sure to love. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne Dede.
And you have come across a recipe that your grandson is going to just absolutely love you for. So I'm pretty sure that's why you picked it out.
Well, that might be a little factor to it.
You found a recipe for a chicken fried steak. Mm-hmm. And that's one of Mark's all-time favorites. So I know he's going to appreciate this, Mom.
Good.
If you want to go ahead and cook along with us, go ahead and get a piece of paper and a pen and write down these ingredients. You're going to need 1.5 cups whole milk, 2 large eggs, 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, some black pepper, 3/4 teaspoon of paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Got a little kick there.
Just a little bit. And it's a lot for coloring too.
Yeah.
3
3 pounds of cube steak, some salt, 1/2 cup of canola or vegetable oil. I'm sure that's what we're going to fry it in.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Tablespoon of butter. And then we're also going to make our homemade gravy with this. So
yes.
That's part of the whole chicken fried steak part. You're going to need a 1/3 cup of flour for that, 3 to 4 cups milk, a 1/2 teaspoon of seasoned salt. You need some black pepper, and then we're going to need some mashed potatoes to put that gravy on.
Yes.
So
yeah, absolutely.
A lot of ingredients, but it's not going to be a hard recipe.
It's not. It's not
good.
at all.
So I'll pass that one off to you. And you found a really a quick, easy salad that you can, this would be a great potluck salad, or it's going to be a perfect pairing with the chicken fried steak as well. It's called a Heavenly Orange Fluff. I don't know. Just sounds a little fluffy, right? To make this, the ingredients that you're going to need is a 4-ounce serving package of orange Jell-O, a container of whipped topping, a cup of sour cream, 3 cups of mini marshmallows, a 20-ounce can of pineapple, a 15-ounce can of mandarin oranges, and then optional, we got 1/2 cup of walnuts.
Yes.
Not optional in our family, but optional for some.
Okay. A necessity for some.
Yeah. So where are we going to start?
Well, we want to mix up the salad and to get the flavors blended in there. So we're going to do that first because it doesn't take long to do this, and then we'll start on do the chicken fried steak.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to start with a carton of Cool Whip. Definitely, you have to have it thawed, and that is 8 ounces.
Okay. There's so many recipes for Cool Whip. It's always a good thing to have 1 or 2 in the freezer just in case.
Absolutely. And then we're going to use a cup of sour cream.
Okay.
So then we're going to just blend those a little bit together. So we'll be able to get another spatula here and just put in there. And we pretty much could have eyeballed it because, it's not something you have to worry about being too exact with. But we might as well do it right, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay, set that aside there. And then we're going to just take the dry Jell-O.
Okay.
And we're going to just put it over on top of this and just mix that in. And this is what's going to help keep that from separating also, which is going to be nice.
Okay.
So it makes it easy to take, like you said, for a potluck or however. There we go, just. And then, of course, you're going to get your orange flavoring with that.
Now these simple salads like this go over well with kids and adults alike, but not that difficult to put together.
It isn't, and I just can see little Addison working with this. She'd love to do that, and it doesn't take much for that, Jell-O to kind of dissolve in there. And mix your sour cream and Cool Whip.
It's not something you want to beat by any means, but just keep holding until it's blended.
Just to fold it there. There we go with that. And now what we're going to do is it asks for can of crushed pineapple, the 20 ounce, and a 15 ounce can of mandarin oranges. So I had already taken those out and put them in the colander here to drain. You want to drain them well,
Okay.
so that you don't have your extra juices and stuff to make that. You don't want to liquefy it and stuff. So that looks good. So we're going to put that in there. So you just got lots of good ingredients, here.
Sure.
And stuff. So let's fold that, and then we're going to put in 3 cups of marshmallows.
You might need a bigger bowl.
I don't know. I don't have a lot, do I? I could have started, but I think we'll do just fine here. So let's just. There we go. And the thing is here, I think you could almost just take your hand and measure out too, on that. So
There we go.
there we go. So you just look at this and you think, what isn't in there, that the kids wouldn't like, or us adults too.
Right. Well, again, depends on the family member. Nuts.
Yep.
Yeah, super easy to put together, and
It is, and you can almost kind of see why they call it fluff salad, with the Cool Whip in there and the marshmallows. And you want to put that in the refrigerator and leave it to set to refrigerate for about an hour.
okay.
But and I do have the walnuts, so I'm going to take a portion out of here. For those that do not like the walnuts. I'm sure they'll love me for that.
Yes. Addison will love you, Mom.
Yep. Okay, and then a half a cup of just chopped walnuts.
Okay.
In there. And, I think you could use pecans, any other nut there that you really like. But that the walnuts or any nut is going to give it that little extra crunch to it, which is great. So, okay, so we can set that in the refrigerator.
Okay.
There we go, and then we'll put the sour cream in. Also there, okay. So we'll set that aside. And now the chicken fried steak, it maybe sounds complicated, but it really isn't.
Okay.
We're going to start with. We're going to break 2 eggs in here. Oh, 2 eggs with, I almost got 2 eggs right there.
Right. 2 yolks.
2 double, yeah.
That's what you get with farm eggs.
Absolutely, isn't it great? So we're just going to take that and blend that up a little bit here. And then we're going to add 1.5 cups of milk.
Okay.
Take your fork and blend that up there. It doesn't take much there. And then we'll add our milk. And there, for chicken fried steak, with your milk and with your gravy, don't use skim milk.
Okay.
And I usually just have 2%. And what I like to do then is I use my 2% and add a little bit of cream to it, just to, make it a little bit more richer, creamier gravy.
Okay.
So we're just going to blend this here.
Now that doesn't take too long to get that
It
mixed
does
up.
not. So we're going to bring it over here to our stove, because it's kind of like an assembly line here and that. So we're going to put a couple of cups of flour here. There. And I did put my burner on here because you want that oil to get, hot. You want to have it sizzling.
Okay.
So we need to put some, your spices in here. What we're going to do is just add it in the flour. We're going to add a couple of teaspoons of seasoned salt. And then the paprika. And this is just going to give it some nice color.
Okay.
And your cayenne or red pepper. And it doesn't have, it only says like about a fourth, teaspoon of that. So neither one is a lot.
Okay.
So we're going to just take this and just kind of mix that. So actually what you do is kind of have an assembly line. You dip your, the steak into the flour, and then into the egg batter, and then back into your flour.
That's how you get that nice golden coating on it.
That's right, yes. And that's a lot why it's called chicken fried steak, because, the breading is kind of like frying chicken.
Right.
So, okay, so we have that there. And I'm going to bring over the meat.
Okay.
And like I said, we do want that cube steak or whatever. I had got some good top round steak, and I just had to tenderize it myself. It's definitely was a little bit cheaper because I was able to get this on sale, and that's what cube steak is pretty much. It's just cubing like round steak. They really tenderize it, so it's
Okay.
good. So I have the vegetable oil in there, and I'm going to add about a tablespoon or a butter in there, just to give that little extra flavoring.
Okay.
And so we can see that that's going to be hot and ready to go. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a little kosher salt on it. There. And then just a little ground pepper.
And we could do this on both sides or just the one side?
We're going to do it on both.
Okay.
So you're going to first put it in the flour. We can just tip this over here and add that on there. And just a little bit. So you kind of get an assembly line
Okay.
into that. So what we're going
Let's
to
put a little
do.
pepper on there.
Oh, we forgot the pepper there. Okay. There. So I'm going to actually put this over here.
Okay.
And so I'm going to just take my meat there. And then we're going to dip it in here.
Okay.
Just turn that over. And now it's got a nice, it's nice and moist, and now the batter is really going to stick with that. So let's put that back in there.
And you're only going to do that once.
Correct. That's all that's really necessary. You can do more, but you can see that you really have a nice coating there.
Okay.
And we put it in the pan there, and it's just starting to sizzle already. And if you'd like, just go ahead and let's sprinkle some kosher salt.
And pepper on these?
Yeah. And you can definitely use your different choices of a steak or whatever, but I think most often, that round steak that is, what they use, cube it and tenderize that with. So let's just get that moist and good, and we're going to get that back in here. And it's only going to take about 2 to 3 minutes on each side.
Okay.
Because you can see that the steak is thin, and it's definitely, being it is that thin, it's not going to take too long. So we have a piece that I can take already here.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. There.
All right.
Okay, ready to go there.
Ready to go.
Yeah. And then what we're going to do when we make our gravy, we're, instead of just taking some other flour, we're going to use our seasoned flour here to put in.
With what we have left.
That's right, yep.
Okay.
And that, so.
All right. Well, we'll be back with our viewers once those are all fried up.
Yep, well, that's a little hot there.
Be careful.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to get 4 pieces in there, and then the rest we'll be able to show that later, but Betty is seeing how, and it's not a hard dish to make at all, but it just seems like it's something that we don't make so often at home.
Right.
Okay, so I've got those 4 pieces in there. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit, and as you can see, it's bubbling. We're going to let that fry up, and like I said, we'll be back with our viewers shortly.
Sounds good.
Country Rose Cafe on East Villard is open for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. Enjoy daily homemade specials, caramel and cinnamon rolls, several different kinds of homemade pies made fresh every day. Country Rose Cafe is also famous for homemade soup, including their ever-popular Nefla served every Tuesday. While you're in, make sure to pick up your Channel 18 Cooking Crave recipes and like us on Facebook for different specials and announcements. Country Rose Cafe, the way a cafe should be, located at 837 East Villard in Dickinson.
Hey, looks like all our steak is brown, nice golden brown here.
Oh, yes.
So that's what we want. And we're going to turn that burner down just a little bit more.
Okay.
And
Sure.
I'm just
sizzling
going to put them out here and put them on a paper towel just to let them drain.
Okay.
And if you have too much oil or whatever, I would take some out. But you know, I don't think I really do. So I'm going to just go ahead and start putting this in and making a paste with that.
Okay.
You know. And if we need to, like I said, I know that we don't have too much oil. We might add a little bit more butter if we need and stuff. So let's get that. Okay.
Yeah, you just want to soak up all the juices. Is that what we're trying to do here?
Right.
Okay.
You know, and if it would be too greasy, you'd add more flour. But as you can see, I actually need a little bit of a butter.
Okay.
And I want to add there just to mix that up there.
This is the gravy that we're trying to make here
That's
now.
right.
Okay.
And you're going to use your pan drippings here, and that's going to give your gravy some awesome flavor. I'm going to add just one little bit more bit of flour.
And we're using the flour, like you said earlier, that we had dipped our steak into.
Right.
Has all that seasoning in there.
And that you don't have to go ahead and take fresh flour, because you know you'd want to add a little bit of seasoning in that. So
Okay. We're
we're going to go ahead and add our milk, and we're going to add that slowly here.
Okay.
And we're going to want to, you know, keep that. Here, why don't you pull the handle around so you can hang on to that?
Okay.
We want to add it slowly and keep stirring that, and that's going to thicken up as you know it sets. And you definitely want to watch your gravy really close.
Okay.
And stuff. So we're going to get that in here, and see that's all your flour, and that's just going to dissolve here and just end up thickening up here.
Okay.
So I'm going to add a little bit more, and like we said, do not use your skim milk, or even, like I said, what I did was my 2% and added a little bit of cream.
Okay.
So we're going to just stir this for a little while until that starts to thicken, and we're going to watch that to make sure that happens.
Okay. And this is where, we're going to want to bring it to a boil, I'm assuming.
Yes.
To get that thickened. Okay.
Yes, it will. And it's going to take about 10 minutes for that to do that. So,
Okay.
We've already made that. We've got that in there. And we're going to just kind of watch where our, how thick, if we need to add more milk in there or whatever. But it's nice to have that little extra gravy.
It is.
Everybody appreciates that. So,
Well, it's something that's easy to store in the fridge in case you would happen to have a leftover piece of steak.
right. And we've already got some mashed potatoes made here. So it won't be very long, and then we can be back here with the viewers showing them how the gravy has turned out.
Perfect.
I did go ahead and use all 4 cups of that milk.
Okay.
And that we had enough flour in there. And make sure that you start with a big enough pan, when you're frying your steak, so that you can make your gravy in there, because you want to use those drippings. That's what's going to give you that really good flavor.
Absolutely.
Of your with your meat as it fried, and all those drippings in there. That's going to be.
So when you're thinking of country fried steak that you might go out into a restaurant and have, it may look like white gravy. They're just not using the drippings.
Right, they're not using all that, and that's where you're going to get your really good flavoring from. And as you see, I did stir it quite a bit, and everything, you know, there's no lumps or anything in there from that roux that we used in there.
Okay.
So, and there was a little bit of, you know, crust from the flour from the steak that we had on there. So I did turn off the burner there. I just need to get a fork.
Okay.
Well, I guess
Well,
I
so
don't
it's
necessarily don't need a fork. I'm going to just take a piece and put that on here. And I've got some mashed potatoes,
Okay.
which we definitely need that.
Country fried steak's not complete without it.
That is for sure. So I'll put that there. And now we're going to just put some of that gravy over it. Just look at how that's just nice and thick, and you know, not too thick or too runny. It's going to be wonderful. You always need plenty of gravy with that. So we're going to give that to you there.
Okay.
And I'm going to just take this here and set it to the side here
So it
doesn't burn. So we're
Okay.
into there. And let's quick get our salad out here and feature that with our chicken fried steak. And then, you know, add some vegetables with that. You know, some, I would, even fresh vegetables, or you could have some others.
Sure. I mean, you
know,
can have
cooked
your green
vegetables
beans or
and-
corn, or I
Yeah.
mean that's a lot of starch if you do use
Yeah.
corn, but these type of beans or. Mm-hmm. And you can use this as a dessert or as the salad.
As the fruit salad, yes, doesn't that look good? What's nice with the consistency of that, you can just pile it high. And you can lick it off if you get it on your fingers and stuff, so, okay.
Well, these look absolutely awesome. They smell awesome. So please cook these for your family. Thank you, Mom, for cooking this for us on the show today. To get these recipes, just go to Consolidated's website, www.ctctel.com. Please submit your recipes for us to cook for you. As always, thank you to our sponsors, and join us next week when we do it all over again.